The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Napick and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Napick.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Thank you for joining us. A super weekend. That's right. Glad that you're with us. I am Bill Napick, your host, and this is show number 508. That's right, 508 weekends of super guests at all times right here on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I always like to remind you to go to stewart.com/radio. That's right. That's where you could see and hear all the shows at stewart.com/radio. Let's get down to business and meet some super real estate professionals right here in the fourth largest city, Houston, Texas. We'll start with Nicole Metter. Her company is called Clearview Real Estate. Nicole, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Bill.
Well, it's always great to start off the show with a super real estate professional. First of all, let's tell people your company is called Clearview Real Estate.
That's correct.
Let's tell people about the company.
Well, we were started in 2001. This is my 19th year practicing real estate, but this is my third year being the broker and owner of our company. I worked for big name firms for part of my career and a smaller boutique firm for the rest of it, but it was time for me to start my own company so I could be the broker and make some of my own decisions.
Well, it's pretty exciting to approach the 20-year mark. Are you excited about that?
It does seem a little bit unreal, to be honest with you. This was my first career out of college. So I worked for 6 months in the mortgage industry, and after that, I had my real estate license, and I've been doing this literally my whole adult life.
And as I think about that, almost 20 years, 19 years, I'm thinking of all the paperwork, all the signed contracts, all the happy customers that you have served, both buyers and sellers.
Yes. It's actually funny that you say that paperwork. It has changed a lot because now we don't kill as many trees and we don't waste as much paper, because when I first started this, it was a lot of paper. But yes, there's been a lot of customers over the years. My favorites are the ones that call me back. I think we can all agree to that we love repeat business, and those are some of my favorites.
Well, as far as the marketplace right now, here we are well into the year 2024. Give us an idea in terms of geographically what's going on and how's the market in the area that you are in the most, which is?
So I live and work and play in northern Montgomery County. So that's about 45 minutes north of Houston, right up I-45. I mainly focus on the Lake Conroe area, which is kind of encompasses the city of Montgomery, the city of Conroe, and the city of Willis. Obviously, anything that touches the outskirts of those as well, but that's my primary focus, and it is busy. I jokingly said that January 4th was going to be the busiest day in the year, and it truly was. The holidays were kind of quiet, and the second the new year and the first day of the new year on a Monday rolled around, legitimately phones were ringing. So it's actually been a very busy start to 2024.
Sounds to me like a situation of pent-up demand there as soon as that January 4th hit, and you were raring to serve the customers, the clients.
Luckily, I had several listings on the ground that, kind of sat around during the holidays, but several people were patient enough to trust me to wait for the new year, and they benefited from it.
Well, I think a few people out there listening may be like me, when you said Lake Conroe, I bet a few people said, how much would it cost to have a home on Lake Conroe with perhaps a straight-up water view or maybe a little bit of a water view? Give us an idea there.
So there is a misconception. There's not a ton of water view property on the lake because it is a man-made lake that was built with the intention of having residential homes on it. So you are pretty much touching the shores of Lake Conroe if you are on Lake Conroe. The average price per square foot kind of teeters around $275 a square foot, but your more luxurious homes are topping at about $400 a square foot. So, the 600 to 700,000 range is on the low end, all the way up to a couple $1 million. Get you a house on Lake Conroe.
One of the things, as far as buyers, let's say the last 10 buyers that you have served, how many were cash buyers, if any?
Actually, probably about 85% of them.
How about that?
Yeah, I deal with a lot of investors and a lot of weekenders. And so the majority of my clientele actually in 2023 were cash buyers.
That's pretty nice.
It makes transaction a little easier sometimes.
A little smoother and perhaps less mystery sometimes.
Yeah,
too.
not as many contingencies come along with it, but every deal's unique too.
Well, as far as, let's say, and before we go further, as far as Montgomery, okay, let's tell people it's a city and a county because it can be confusing.
That's correct. So Montgomery County encompasses Spring, the Woodlands, Conroe, Willis, the city of Montgomery, parts of Magnolia. Montgomery County is huge. So, but again, not to be confused with, yes, the city of Montgomery, which borders on the northwestern side of Lake Conroe.
And also, just a side note, no one cares, but I used to live in the Washington, D.C. area, and there's a Montgomery County there as well with fantastic crab cakes. Just a side note. So as far as, let's tell people that are in Montgomery County, let's say, that want to list their homes right now, how do you advise the people that are going to list homes right now there if they say, hey, Nicole, how long is it going to take me to sell my home and these sorts of things?
So the market is not what it was during the pandemic, right? And we have to set realistic expectations for our sellers. So to tell somebody that your home's going to sell in 7 to 10 days, it's not to say it can't happen, but that to set an unrealistic expectation is not helpful. Homes, if you go back about 6 months or so and just did the average days on the market in our north to northwestern part of the county, you're averaging about 35 to 55 days on the market. That's actually still less days on the market than we were at pre-pandemic, which you could have averaged about 3 to 6 months expected to be time frame sitting on the market. So to expect your home to sell in 7 to 10 days, is not setting you up a little bit for failure mindset, but a month to 3 months is very reasonable. Inventory is still low in our area, so if you want to beat the crowds, this is a good time to start thinking about getting your house on the market for sure.
I think you're definitely reading my mind because I just wrote down, ask her about inventory. Yeah. So okay, let's get an idea of the pricing up there, let's say in the city of Montgomery, for example. So starting with someone says, Nicole, I have $400,000. What can we get for $400,000 in the city of Montgomery?
So in the area of Montgomery, kind of what we consider Montgomery ISD, we don't have a ton of new construction neighborhoods. We don't have a lot of planned unit developments. It's pretty much a built-out community. So we have some smaller acreage type home communities with an acre lot, but you might only have 20 to 40 houses in these smaller neighborhoods. So those are pushing, above $600,000 and $700,000 and $800,000. Wow. So to be in the 400 price point, you're looking at maybe in a more established community, something that's been around since the 70s, 80s, 90s, probably about 2,500 square feet. That's probably not going to get you a pool, but a regular lot size, 10, 12,000 square foot lot, medium. When it comes to updates, it's not probably going to have been completely refurbished from the inside out, but, probably likely in good condition.
How often are you serving clients that come from outside of Houston or even outside of Texas?
That is not a huge market area for me. I don't spend a lot of marketing money advertising to clients in California. That's left to some other folks. I do a lot of referral-based networking and a lot of people moving in and within our own community.
When you use social media, do you have a favorite? Do you like Facebook, Instagram? Where do you get the most results?
Probably from Facebook. I think the younger generation is a little bit more served at TikTok and Instagram even, but the clientele that I tend to work with tend to be, my age and older who are still stuck on Facebook.
Yeah, so you're about 29, your age?
Oh, yeah, about my age at 29, right, yes.
Right.
But yeah, so Facebook tends to be one of our more popular avenues for using social media.
It really, I think Facebook is great, at least for our show. As far as all the things you could be doing, here you are in the real estate world for 19 years, almost 20, but what is it about real estate that you love so much? What drew you to real estate?
I enjoy helping people. Everybody has a different reason for buying and selling a house, right? The majority of them are good. The majority of the people are happy, right? Unfortunately, we have situations that arise when it's not a good situation for that buyer or seller, but the majority of the people are very happy when they are doing a transaction. So you're either helping them, upsize for their growing family, downsize for retirement, buying an investment property that's been a dream, a weekend place to get away from the city. So it's fulfilling, helping people achieve what are their dreams, right? It's my dream to be successful, but these are their dreams. And so I'm a part of that as well.
When you're not busy in real estate, what do you like to do in your spare time or as far as hobbies go?
Well, I have young kids, so I don't get a lot of free time. I work and I do what my kids need me to do, which I'm super involved in their schools, but they're both super involved in athletics, so I spend a lot of my time with my husband and our kids and shuttling them through their place in life.
And Nicole, before we close this segment, what else do you want people to know?
One of the things that makes me the happiest is when I started my own company, I tried to figure out what was a way that I could give back. And so part of every closing, I donate some of my proceeds to the Montgomery ISD Education Foundation, which is a nonprofit that gives back to teachers in our school district through grants and innovative grants. So that's something I'm just really proud of. I appreciate our educators. I offer educator discounts to anybody who works in the ISD, everybody from admin down to janitorial staff. And so that was just one of my mission statements when I started my own company was, how can I better serve my community?
We're talking with Nicole Metter. Her company is Clearview Real Estate. Nicole, let's tell people how they can reach you.
The best way is on my cell phone at 936-523-0356. You can call me or you can text me.
Sounds like you said, 936-523-0356.
That's correct.
Thanks for being with us, Nicole.
Thank you very much for having me today.
As we continue, now we have real estate professionals. The company's called Whitestone Real Estate. The broker is Terry Latham. In addition, Lisa Wilbur and Linda May are here. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Man, the energy is incredible. Here you are. Isn't it exciting to be right here on KPRC?
Absolutely.
And be in real estate at the same time.
I know. Who knew we would be here at this time?
Double bonus. First of all, Terry, you are the broker. Let's tell people about the company.
Okay, we just opened. We have all been in real estate for several years and worked in the same office for some larger companies, and we decided that it was time for us to kind of branch out on our own. We see a lot of things that are changing in the real estate world, and so we thought now's a good time for us to make our mark, and we wanted to have a more personal, individual service, and so we decided just recently, we came up with the name for it, and we're getting everything situated. And
what a great team too. Also, let's tell people, Terry, as far as the area that you cover the most, what area are you guys in?
Well, we're really all over the Northwest Houston area. I myself live in Montgomery, and Lisa lives in Tomball, and Linda lives in Spring, and Lisa's children grew up in the Cypress area, so she knows that area very well. So really, Northwest Houston is where we cover.
A very strong
very
area.
Long. Yeah, it is a large area. And
as far as the marketplace goes, and as far as all these things, it's exploding, isn't it? I mean, all over Houston, but it seems like especially that Northwest with 99, north of 10, I mean, the growth is incredible.
It is. 99 was such a blessing when it was built and connected so many ways where you didn't have to go around the world to get to certain areas. And so that's helped a lot of people with work. It opened up their flexibility to live in different areas and even move out a little further north if they wanted to, or to the Northwest area. I think it was very, very helpful. Expensive, but helpful.
Well, and expensive. I know I've been on 99 a lot, and I've had my share of rock chips, too. It's no fun because a lot of construction, those rock trucks are there all the time. You have to be careful. Also with us is Lisa Wilbur. Lisa, let's tell people about your role on the team of Whitestone Real Estate.
Well, we are just getting started, and we're trying to define those roles. But I come with the most experience in the group, so we are working really hard together to just unravel that and see what that looks like. I do serve the Northwest area the most, the Tomball and Cypress area, and it's really great. It's really growing out there, growing out toward 290 as well now that the 99, and you can just get on right there. You can even go to Katy. So when I have new clients that don't really know where they want to live, there's so many opportunities out there to be in Tomball, Cypress, Waller, Katy. So we're just excited about what it's going to look like for us.
Well, curious also, you mentioned Katy. Have you been doing any work in Katy lately? Give us a little read on that, if you would, please. I
haven't done any work recently, but I've certainly been showing houses all over. So I've been out there and I've seen how it's growing, and it just so much new construction on 99, so many new subdivisions that you can just choose and pick and choose whatever you want, whatever needs you have for your family, and also just the school districts. There's several school districts just in an area that's really easy to get to.
Well, I know it would depend on the person or family's individual needs and schools and things like that, but as far as the towns, we're talking about Katy, Cypress, Tomball, which one seems to be, is there one more popular than the other right now at the beginning of the year?
Katy's always been so popular, and they're already established. They already have such great restaurants. Cypress is coming up behind them with just so much new development and some of the subdivisions out there, new restaurants, new shopping, and then you can just go on out to Waller. It's a little bit quieter out there, but you're still close to all those restaurants that are really coming up on 99, and even going into Tomball. It's just they're all really popular. And
they have restaurants in Waller? I mean, I've seen the McDonald's, but
well, no,
I've
but
been
you can live away from restaurants, but get to one really quick when you just hop on 290 and get off at 99. So
good to know. Also with us is Linda May. Linda, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill.
Well, here you are. Linda, give people an idea of your role on this new and exciting team.
So I also am a realtor. I'm doing a lot of the social media, trying to get our presence out there. As Terry mentioned, we come from a larger brokerage where you didn't really have to focus on that as much. That name brought itself popularity. So I've been working a lot on getting us out there and letting people know who we are. Also selling in the northwest side of town. Generally, I've also sold in New Caney. I've listed in New Caney. Also Hockley. She's talking about Waller. It is building up out there.
I've heard someone just recently, now that I'm glad you mentioned Hockley, someone just told me about how busy or the interest people have in Hockley.
I think one is it brings that country living that people want, but still the conveniences that Houston has, and so they don't have to give up one area to receive the other. So I think that's a lot of reason people are going out there trying to get away from the big cities.
And for those that are not in the Houston area that listen to the show, we have a lot of fans outside. They want to know what's going on in Texas. Where is Hockley in relationship? Let's just say there's a downtown Houston, and we've been talking about the northwest side of town. Where's Hockley at?
So it's right outside of Cypress, right before you hit Waller. It's kind of wedged in between there. Most people reach it from 290, but there are, of course, those of us that have been around, we know those back roads to come in through Tomball, and they've got some great restaurants, as she was saying, some great areas out there, and it really is a convenient way to get there now.
Let me ask you this. If someone was interested in, say, a small home, relatively small, 2,000 square feet, 2,500 square feet, but they said, I want a little elbow room, and I'm thinking more rural or something with a little land, which suburb or which little town are they going to find?
I would
Hockley?
say at this point Hockley would be,
Hockley.
because Tomball has exploded and it's almost lost that little town feeling. And so I
Interesting.
think some people are going towards Hockley for that reason.
And you were talking about getting the word out. Being on the radio is probably a good idea. What do you think, Linda?
I think so too.
There you go. Let's work on that. In the meantime, Terry, give us an idea of some of the plans. I know as putting a team together, and especially at the beginning of the year, how have you looked at the 2024 and said, hey, here we are, we're going to make our mark, we're going to do this, this, and this. How did you plan with your team members here to build the business in this year?
Well, all three of us believe in building our business by referral, and we follow a lot of gurus in the industry that help you foster that way to build your business. And so we try to make contact every month in several different ways, and we would love to. Lisa's already got some business. She didn't mention this, but she has a listing in Seadrift, so she's even gone further south, so she's got that going for her, and some other buyers coming in, and I've got some buyers coming in. And so I would love to show people that it's not just a transaction, it's much more of a relationship with us, and it's a stressful time purchasing a home or selling a home.
It really can be.
Yeah, it can be so stressful, and it's probably one of the biggest purchases or sales that you'll ever make in your lifetime. So I want to make it as stress-free as possible and take on most of that.
And give us an idea. At one time, you were a real estate agent, but you made the decision to say, I want to be a broker. So you had to say, I want more responsibility, maybe more opportunities. What was your thinking to say, I want to go and be a broker and get into it in this level now?
That's a very good question. I've been
It's the
asking
first good
myself.
question I've had in the last 10 weeks, by the way. Thank you for recognizing
I've been
that.
asking myself as I'm paying for things, why did
There's
I
a lot of
decide to do
charges.
this? Yes. But, the offices that we all came from had gotten so large, and we were wanting something with just a few less agents, and I didn't think it was necessary to necessarily be with a huge name because we'd been in the business so long, and I can see the benefit of that in certain areas. But for us, we wanted to try it on our own, and so I decided to get my license, and I got that last November, and we thought, can we do this? And it was definitely a team effort. I got chosen to take the test and get that conquered. So I don't know. For us, we're all very people-oriented in the sense that it's the relationship that we like instead of not just a transaction.
And it's interesting you say that as a broker, that even a realtor, there's a lot of charges and small costs along the way that end up building to be, it's like, wow, that's pretty significant. As you're saying, as a broker, same thing there. And not only that, you have to take another test, and I hear the test is pretty hard.
For me, it was very hard, and I studied a lot because I didn't want to have to take it again.
Right.
And you still have to take the national and the state test, and there's different questions, and you have to pass a certain number of questions, just like you do as a realtor, but it's just...
I bet it felt good to pass.
Yeah, it did.
Well, congratulations
It did.
on that.
Thank
Give us an idea. Lisa, before we close this segment, what else do you want people to know?
Well, I want people to know that we founded this brokerage, came up with the name Whitestone, and what Whitestone represents is new beginnings. And so we thought that was such a great name that we're all starting in new beginnings, but also our clients. Most of the time, that's when they're purchasing a new house or selling a new house, they're moving on to a new beginning.
Another chapter,
and so
right?
Another chapter in life. So that's really, we were really, really excited about the name, and really excited about what we're going to be able to do for our clients. from
Lisa,
here on out.
let's tell people how they can reach you. What's the phone?
You can reach me by phone at 713-304-6099. 713-304-6099.
And Linda May, before we close this segment, what else do you want people to know?
I want them to know how important they are to us. And I know so many realtors, they say they're in it for the relationship, and I'm certain they would have to be, because it is not as easy as people would believe it is. And so we want them to know how important they are to us, how desperately we want to see their goals achieved, and take on as much of that stress off of them as possible.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Linda, but do you ever see these certain TV shows that make real estate look easy?
Oh, my goodness,
Every
yes.
deal's a $10 million. Everyone's driving around a Mercedes, right?
Yes,
You've seen
absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't drive a Mercedes.
It's
can I tell
easy.
you?
And Terry, before we close this segment, Terry Latham, she is the broker of Whitestone Real Estate. Terry, what else should we know?
Call us. Call any of us. We'll be more than happy to talk to you. Come see where you live. Let us know where you want to live, and try to make things happen.
And your phone number is?
281-787-5242. 281-787-5242.
Terry, thanks for being with us, and thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
As we continue, let's talk to Blanca Ortiz Pace and Chase Morris. They're with Century 21. Hey, guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
It's great to see you all. So, first of all, Chase, let's tell people about the company and the location that you're working, where your office is primarily.
So I'm the preferred lender inside of Century 21. We're with Lone Star Premier Mortgage. We have a few offices around town. I hub out of the Galleria office one, but just like today, I was in Sugar Land most of the day, and then tonight I'll be in Humble. So I just go where my loan officers need me. I'm the sales manager of a team of about 15, 20 guys, girls. Great LOs all around the board, so we try to help as much as we can.
So you're in the mortgage business.
Mm-hmm.
So let's tell people, how many times a week does someone say, hey, Chase, what's the rate?
Like per day or a week?
I mean,
Per day, at least 20, 40 times.
Is that right?
Yeah, you'll get random numbers just texting you out of the blue. You know?
And how do you respond?
We can look at your file, see what best program fits you. We can talk about the numbers later.
And is it true the rates are getting a little bit better?
Yeah, I would say for the last maybe 2 to 3 months, they've been trickling down a little bit. This morning, I advised that we might have a little risk this week. It was actually funny. The only thing I'd figure was 60 Minutes interview with Powell last night is why the bond market might be moving around just based on what he said. But we haven't seen any worse pricing in probably about a week or so.
Well, that sounds interesting. Now, Blanca, let's tell people you're with Century 21, and where is your office area that you work the most?
We are in the Galleria area. Our office is off of Richmond, so we do have one office there. We actually have a second office in the Brazoria County, out in Brazoria, Texas, and we have agents as well as there.
Well, actually, we could probably see your office from the window of the studio, right? Because
Possibly,
the gallery is right
if we can move some of the high rises.
If we could see through the buildings, it's right there. So, as far as 2024 starting out as you're helping buyers and sellers, give us an idea. How's it starting out here that we're beginning February?
Well, what we've seen is that the buyers are getting a little bit more. They're getting a little bit more motivated to start looking, as they have heard and seen that the interest rates have started to drop a bit. So now they're starting to look. I'm primarily on the commercial side, but we do study both sides of the market. So when we did have our meeting for the year, we did notice that the survey was showing that we had quite a bit of interested buyers that were looking.
In the commercial side?
No, residential. That was residential.
Okay. So, but there is a certain relationship between commercial and residential, right?
Correct.
So is the market stronger in commercial or residential right now, or is it equal?
No, it's not. It's getting stronger on the residential side. The commercial, we still have some people that are kind of clients that are scared because we have so many office buildings that are, vacant, and some of them they've talked about turning them into maybe apartment homes, but then they started noticing that's too many to turn into apartment homes. So then that's going to affect the market on that side. So it's it's more interest in the residential side, but on the commercial side, you still have some. I think when the pandemic hit, a lot of clients decided to reevaluate where they were with employment, and they decided to get out there and maybe freelance and try something new. So we had quite a bit of new clients wanting to start their businesses.
So it sounds like perhaps it's a time for someone that wants to rent an office or something. They can probably get a good deal. I don't know.
Yes, there's actually
some negotiating going on.
Yes, there are some buildings that they're so eager to get their occupancy rates high or better than where they are. They're willing to pay for companies to actually move in, and they'll even do all the tenant improvements.
So
that's how desperate they are.
A few incentives along the way.
That
correct. Sounds pretty good. So Chase, give us an idea as far as the year, the way your company's looking at the mortgage business. Give us an idea how you think it's all speculation, we know, but how do you think it's going to unfold as we move along here throughout 2024? The rate's going to, election year, no doubt.
That's a big one.
You think it's going to affect it?
I think so, of course. We're thinking that it's going to just flatline until the fourth quarter. Then we'll see what happens with the election. Most companies went down on their numbers of applications last year. People generally trying to get pre-approved. We went up. So we're just kind of forecasting the exact same thing for this year. And then depending on the election and how that looks, 2025 is hopefully going to be a turn up for us, what we're thinking. So I think maybe just a flat line as far as rates and then application numbers.
And right now, as people seek you out, as far as they say, hey, Chase, I want to get a loan on, are you helping mostly residential, or you're working commercial as well?
So I'm a non-active sales manager. So I have all of my team do all that for me. We have each pathway you want to go. If you come to me directly, I have 2 or 3 that I use all the time, just kind of like, not my assistant, but they take all my overflow. But either way, yeah, we have someone for you with our company.
So we think business is going to be steady. We're gonna go with that.
Yeah, that just a same as last year for us, flatline kind of thing. Like I said, we got more applications we did the year before, which was very unusual from talking to other LOs and managers.
As far as, say, January, how was the activity as far as?
We increased, just like she said earlier, the January 24th, we started getting more applications. I would think the last 2 weeks of December, we maybe average about 12 to 15 credit pools. And then now I think we're averaging about 10 a day. And that's just usually when people are applying for a new pre-approval.
That sounds good. Well, meanwhile, back to Century 21 and Blanca, what are some of the other things? Now, you've been in real estate. Give people an idea how many years, Blanca?
Since 2005, so it's been almost 20 years.
How about that? You've seen some changes along the way, too.
I came in, saw the first fall of the market. We went up, and then we kind of went down, stabilizing. So, yes, seen a couple of curves there.
So what was your incentive to even start in real estate back then in 2005?
It's a long story, but very quickly, I purchased my first house when I was 21 years old, and I didn't know that the agent that had me purchase a house told me, well, if you like this house, you have to put in $10,000 over for asking price.
The agent said that to you?
Yes.
Oh, my.
And then, so I figured, well, she's the expert. Let me go with what she's telling me. And of course, after I studied the market, what it was then, that was not so. And then, so I had to come up with all this extra money that I really didn't have to. The house did not appraise. I had to bring that in. And then, and of course, she was just telling me, you have to do this. Like, that's the only way.
Really? She was insistent, really.
Yes. Yeah. So we went through the process, purchased a house. Again, I was 21 years old, so I didn't know any better. And then from there, 2 years later, I found out that I was in an ARM loan. So
adjustable rate for those that are in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. That's called an adjustable rate loan. So there you are with kind of learning the hard way, they call that.
Yes. So the first thing that I got from my parents was, how would you not know that? You're educated. I said, I'm not money educated as far as real estate goes. So that's what intrigued me to go into to learn. I just took it as curiosity to learn what it was about and where was the misstep. And then I realized, I said, you know what, let me get licensed and see who can I help. And that's where I started.
That's a good story, because I haven't heard a story quite like that, but we have heard people where they say someone misguided me, or I didn't like the way I was served with the realtor, so I said, hey, I can do it. But, that sort of, I've heard that a lot, but that's an interesting story. But here you are, 20 years later. Are you enjoying it?
Oh, yes. I think for me, the biggest, the thing that I love the most is when you see those clients that they think they may not be able to get a loan, especially our I-10 community. They feel that they may never, like, the dream of owning a home is unreachable. And when you connect them with the correct lender and you get them going and they're able to get their house and they know that they were not taken advantage of, for me, it's just like the most beautiful thing.
It's a good feeling, right? And so you and Chase are kind of working together. Certainly you're here on the segment together, but you've done a few transactions together, it sounds like.
Yes, we have, yes. And they do great. I mean, there's very few lenders that have that ITIM program. And so it's a blessing to have them in-house to be able to service that community.
Well, Chase, give people an idea. Before we close the segment, let's tell people your company again. I thought you were with Century 21 initially, but let's tell people again. The company is?
Lone Star Premier Mortgage.
Lone Star Premier Mortgage. And what else do you want people to know before we close this segment? Let's tell them how to reach you as well.
My direct line is 832-630-7467. The loan process does not need to be as hard as everyone says it has to be. If they set clear expectations up front, I think it's a smooth transaction.
There you go. The phone number again is?
832-630-7467.
Meanwhile, Blanca, here you are. Let's tell people how they can reach you, Blanca Ortiz Pace.
Yes, please give us a call. My phone number is 832-207-9993. 832-207-9993. It will be a pleasure.
And one other question. As far as the years in your real estate adventure helping others, by the way, I have a feeling, are you investing in real estate yourself at all?
I am investing.
I had that feeling.
I actually also just purchased 50% of the company.
How about that? Well, congratulations there. And again, Blanca, your phone number is?
832-207-9993.
Thank you guys for being with us.
Thank you.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is with Stewart Insurance, John Bramlett. Hey, John, welcome back.
Thank you, Bill. Always a pleasure.
Well, here we are. What a show, huh? Real
Fantastic
estate brokers
show.
are abounding all over the place.
Gotta love having brokers on our show.
We love it.
My favorite guests.
So, as we continue, it's insurance time once again. People love insurance time right here in Houston, Texas, and those that listen beyond, there's no doubt about it. I get emails all the time.
Well, Terry talked about education, and all of our guests have referred to, trying to build relationships, and part of the way that you can do that is being better prepared to do your job. And we feel very strongly about the ability to share and to serve the real estate community is part of our core value. And one of the ways that we can do that is through the CE classes that we offered. So I just thought today would be a good day to remind our listeners of the continuing education classes that Stewart Insurance offers.
It is a good day. When I woke up, I thought the same thing. It's a good day for continuing education.
Yeah, historically, the first full week of February is a great time to look at that.
No question.
We've got 3 classes that we offer. One that I just recently taught for Juliana in the Kirby Grove office, who's here today, is the 2 sides of water. And it was really apropos because we had just, in fact, the whole country had just gone through a week or so of really heavy rain.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a reminder that, and I think we fall into this habit here in the Houston area, that flood insurance and flooding is just a coastal issue or it's just a hurricane issue, and it's not. All major disasters, other than maybe a wildfire, have some semblance of rain. So they're going to have some area of flood as a part of them. So on the 2 sides of water, we take a look at flood insurance. And what does that cover? What doesn't it cover? What designates a flood to see what that to see if the coverage would come into play. And then we look at 4 types of water damage that potentially could be covered by a home insurance plan. So that's the second side of water. So that's a 2-hour class that we offer. The second 2-hour class is property insurance essentials for real estate professionals. So many times a realtor or a broker will deal with a client, and one of the things that they're always going to look for is how is the client going to use the property. And depending upon how the property is used can dictate the type of coverage that should be considered. So we look at 6 different types of residential property, and then based upon how that property is going to be used, we look at the recommended insurance plans that could go along with that, so that not asking our realtor friends to be insurance advisors, but now they have the ability to say, Bill, based upon how you're going to use this property, you ought to have a conversation with your insurance advisor about. So we look at 6 different properties and how insurance would play effect there. And then the last one is really critical in today's market, especially everything that's happening within real estate. And that's real estate liability, reduce your risks and protect your license. And that's a 3-hour class. So we spend a good part of the first part of the class looking at risk and exposure. So what are the risks that are out there? What is risk? The probability of something bad happening. What's the exposure, the financial ramification of that risk? And then how do we reduce those risks, reduce that probability, or offset that exposure, move that financial outcome onto an insurance company? So we spend the second part of that class looking at 7 types of risks that are out there that a realtor faces every day. So we go into an in-depth conversation about that. Then we take a look at 8 ways you can minimize those risks, and we do that through 2 case studies. So it's a very interactive class. And at the end, if we take a look at ways that you could offset that through some practices that you can maintain, as well as some insurance coverage that the real estate brokers could consider.
Such valuable information is in each and every class, but when you line up 3 powerful sessions like that, it's incredible. What class has the most demand, if any of them, John?
Well, the 2 sides of water always has a great interest. We had Andy on, who's the new business development officer in Pearland last week, and her team and some of the folks that she was networking with as she steps in as the new salesperson in Pearland. Many people have said that they really did enjoy that class. And because of the market that we're in, between, the propensity for hurricanes, being on the Gulf Coast, the fact that there are parts of Houston that we get any kind of a rain, there's a chance for a flood, that the 2 sides of water is really a class that people have an interest in. I think because of the changes in the marketplace, the real estate liability class, where we're looking at risks, is becoming more and more popular. And I really like the property insurance class, because not only it really provides some great nuggets that a realtor can use in working with the client, but we do talk a little bit about flood coverage on the back end, so that provides some good additional information as well.
And when we think about rain, certainly right here in Houston, most of us live here in this area, but in seeing news articles, especially in the Wall Street Journal, which I read every day, California had a whole bunch. There were cars underwater in some city that just gets a few inches of rain every year, but yet they were flooded. So it can happen anywhere.
It was amazing, and we spent a lot of time in Juliana's class talking about that. That in San Diego there were cars that were washed down the street. That the governor had issued severe warnings for that area. In San Antonio on I-10, or on 35, there were police officers that were trapped in their car, and the water was as high as their door handle. We had, Lake Livingston is 70 miles northeast of here. Lake Livingston, there were 45 homes that people asked them to stay in their home because the roadway was washed out. Lake Conroe that we were talking about earlier with several of our guests, which is about 40 miles from here, they had the lake shut down for 3 days because it was so full, and they weren't able to release water quickly enough. So, and that was just in a week's period of time all across the U.S., and all of those are potential flood issues. So that's why flood insurance is important, and that's also why the 2 sides of water has always been a popular class.
It's also why we need to be tuned in to be properly insured wherever we live, and we know people hear this show not just in Houston but beyond. So Stewart Insurance can help people in California, in Indiana, most certainly here in Houston, Texas. And one of the things we maybe not remind people enough is that, yes, Stewart Insurance is helping people all over the United States, ready, willing, and able.
That's correct. We have clients all over the U.S., so if you're a homeowner and, like you said, listening in Indiana or California, and you need help with your home, wind, auto, flood, motorcycle, investment property, we can help with that. And if you're in the real estate business, if you're a realtor, a real estate professional, a broker, a property management firm, lender, independent title and attorney agent, we can help you with your business insurance all over the U.S. So cyber liability, general liability, errors and omissions, commercial auto, commercial property.
Well, my favorite class is the 2 sides of water. I love that one. But in the meantime, what else should we know, John?
Well, we talk a lot about being properly insured, and we had some conversations today, and all of our guests talked about the importance of relationships, and we feel the same way. So when you're working with us, you won't hear us talk about an insurance policy. You'll hear us talk about an insurance plan, that we're not going to sell you a policy, we're going to build you a plan based upon what your needs are. You're not going to be working with an agent, you're going to be working with an advisor, because we're going to spend the time to make sure we understand what your needs are so that you are properly insured. And all that means is you're comfortable with the coverage that you have, and you understand the risk that you're taking on as an individual versus the risk you're passing on to the insurance company. So it could be a very conservative plan, or it could be a very robust plan. As long as you're comfortable with what that coverage is and you understand it, in our eyes, you're properly insured.
And that's what we all strive to be, especially in 2024. It's the year of being properly insured.
Absolutely. It is the year of being properly insured, especially in Montgomery County.
That's right. So how can people reach you at Stewart Insurance?
They can reach us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. They can learn more about the company at stewartinsurance.com, or they can email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
That's one of the things also to remind people on the website, stewartinsurance.com. It's the menu is laid out in a tremendous way, and they can learn more. This is just a glimpse when we do these segments, John, but I encourage people, go to stewartinsurance.com, find out more. Whether you're a real estate broker or you just want to have your home, water, or even motorcycle insured, it's all there.
Absolutely. It does. The website does a great job of all the different types of plans that we offer, a nice overview about what each of those coverages entail, and then there's several ways to get a hold of us. You can start the process online through the website right there.
Sounds good, John. The phone number again is
866-798-2827.
Thank you so much, John Bramlett with Stewart Insurance.
Bill, always my pleasure.
Stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer. That's right, wherever you are, certainly right here in Houston. Guess what? We have 3 A++ business development people, starting with Becky Bohannon. Becky, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Glad to be here.
It's awesome to have such a crowd and such great individuals. Becky, let's tell people the office that you serve at Stewart Title.
Good old Tomball.
You know, people love Tomball.
I know. Tomball's a great place.
And you live in Tomball, too.
I do. I haven't forever, but I have for a couple of years now.
You're enjoying it.
I love it. Yeah.
I bet people hear the show, they hear your enjoyment, your passion. They want to move to Tomball.
Tomball's a great place to be.
Your office also is doing incredible work there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We have foreclosures. We close everything from commercial to land. We have an amazing office. I would not be able to sell our office if I didn't believe in them. So I can't say enough good things about our office.
That sounds good to me. Becky, any events coming up that we should know about?
Oh, I just have a little Valentine's event coming up next week.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
And what's going on?
Oh, we're doing charcuterie boards. Yeah.
That sounds good. I may come up there for that. Let's tell people how to reach you, because I know they want to bring the transaction to Tomball.
It's a good old Tomball. So my cell number is 713-591-3319. 713-591-3319. I always give out my cell because I have no idea how to work our office phones. Those new phones are driving me nuts.
Becky,
so always reach out on my cell.
Becky Bohannon. Hope Moy is also here. Hope, let's tell people you have 2 offices. How do you do it? How do you do it?
I just bounce. Back and forth.
Kind of like the two sides of water.
Yeah.
But not.
I love it, though. I love it. I get to do one office one day or the other day, or I visit both in the same day.
Never boring.
Whatever they need.
And again, that's Conroe
and Magnolia. The Conroe location is off of 336 and 105. And we have 2 escrow officers there, Michelle Taylor and Marla Wells. I would say combined experience, about 80 years of experience. Magnolia is 2978 and 1488. And I have 3 escrow officers there. Kelly Ernst is the branch manager, and I have Robin Mays and Courtney Minka.
Great people.
And about 100 years of combined experience.
Holy smokes. I need my calculator to keep up with this.
I say that, and I say this every time, but I think it's important that people know how much value is brought to the table in the experience that our escrow officers have.
No question about it. There to serve, able to handle all kinds of transactions with a lot of experience. Hope, let's tell people how they can reach you when they want to bring their transactions to either one of these wonderful offices.
I would love that. My cell is 346-224-1908. 346-224-1908.
And in the heart of Houston, Texas, at Kirby Grove, Richmond 2925. That's right, Juliana Barefoot. Juliana, what a great location, right there in the center.
It is. We overlook Levy Park, so it's a great office.
It's the heartbeat of Houston.
It certainly is.
That's what I say.
I know.
Many other people have said
You're in our office quite a bit.
That's right, especially lately. It's probably the super views and the great people, the associates that we have right there at Stewart Title, Kirby Grove.
Yeah, we have 3 escrow officers. We do commercial, residential, and we can do land as well. We have Sanford Reel, who's been in the business for 35 years. And we have Lauren Reed, who's our branch manager. And then Deanna Jurisic, and she is our Spanish-speaking escrow officer.
It is super awesome. So, Juliana, let's tell people right there, you're serving River Oaks, all the great areas, the Galleria. How can they reach you?
Phone number is 832-296-7666. Again, 832-296-7666.
And an extra bonus, when you close at Kirby Grove, great views abound, and there's plenty of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and other candies there.
As long as you haven't been in the office.
As long as I didn't hit it first, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Also, she is back. Nicole, met her. Where's Nicole?
I'm here, Bill.
Hey, you snuck right around. So here you are, Nicole. As we close the show, what else do you want people to know?
I just wanted to thank Stewart Title for bringing me on. They have been a great resource for me for the last several years since I started my company. I'm very appreciative of everything that Stewart has to offer. And when you bring a contract, we usually try to close at Stewart when we have the ability to. So appreciate it.
That's music to our ears. You know, you could even say that again. You want to bring, I love that.
I work with Marla Wells over at the Conroe office on the majority of my transactions. She does have a wealth of knowledge, and I appreciate what she does when she brings to the table. It's a team effort, right? From the realtor to the mortgage company to the escrow officer. We all have to work together.
Putting it all together, no doubt, right?
It's not easy sometimes.
Absolutely. Nicole, met her. Nicole, let's tell people again how they can reach you.
My cell phone is 936-523-0356. That is 936-523-0356.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me on
thanks
today.
for those kind words. They are back from Whitestone Real Estate. Terry Latham, Linda May, Lisa Wilbur. Ladies, welcome back.
Thank you.
Terry, well, final word. You're the broker. It's off and running. What else should we know?
It's off and running. We love what we do. We've got a wealth of knowledge. We work with Becky quite a bit. She's been so supportive of agents in our area and our business, the offices that we came from. Stewart Title's amazing, and we love them, and they give us their home numbers, and we call them on the weekends if we need to, and very, very available, and we are appreciative of that.
We're there to serve, no doubt. And Lisa, final thought?
Just looking forward to how Whitestone Real Estate can help you, and I'm just so thankful for Becky and inviting us here today to reach out to everyone. Let us help you in your future transactions.
Absolutely. Linda May. No show would be complete without a final word from Linda May. That's what I heard.
Well, actually, I think we're out of final words, but we do appreciate being on the show and having an opportunity to tell a little bit about who we are and what we do to serve the Northwest Houston area.
It is exciting. Linda, how can people reach you?
281-731-4622. That's 281-731-4622.
Thank you for being with us. Also, Blanca and Chase are back. Blanca is with Century 21. Chase is with Lone Star Premier Mortgage. Well, Blanca, here we are.
We're back.
They're back, and it's the end of the show. One final word, and how can we reach you?
Just want to say thank you to Juliana for her support. She's always been on top of making sure that our agents are educated, brings a lot of CE options, and whenever we bring a file, they're quick and prompt at getting that title commitment out. They get it out so fast, and I love it.
Well, we thank you for that, Blanca. Chase, before we close things down, what else should we know?
First, thanks for letting me have on the show. It was pretty fun. Rate should be about the same. If you're going to continue to rent, you're paying 100% in interest. So time to buy.
Time to buy. Let the word go forth. And Chase, how can people reach you?
Direct line is 832-630-7467.
Blanca?
832-207-9993.
Thank you all. And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Nampick, together with John Bramlett. All of us at Stewart Title. That's right. We're an international company traded on the New York Stock Exchange as STC. So all over the United States, we're there to serve you, especially right here in Houston, Texas. And of course, Stewart Insurance, stewartinsurance.com. Thanks for listening. Simply go to stewart.com/radio. That's right. You can see the guests that we have here. There's tons of them. So you want to go to the YouTube channel by going to stewart.com/radio. We will see you next week. And until then, thanks for listening.